read and I'll pull.
We are meeting this evening at 7 o'clock on Monday, December 5th for the purpose of the City of Gardner public hearing on property tax classification. I'm going to read the notice. City of Gardner, notice of public hearing, property tax classification pursuant to the provisions of Mass General Law, Chapter 40, subsection 56. The Gardner City Council will conduct a public hearing on Monday, December 5th, 2022 at 7 p.m. in the City Council Chamber, Room 219, City Hall, concerning the percentages of the local tax levy to be borne by each class of real estate and personal property within the city for the fiscal year 2023. Persons interested in this matter who desire to offer testimony are invited to attend or may submit their testimony in writing. T.T. Serafan, City Clerk. The public hearing is now open. I have already read the notice. I am going to have the mayor come up and speak on the item this morning. Go ahead, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you very much, Madam President and councilors. As you are aware, it's the tax classification hearing decides whether or not we go with a single tax rate or a split tax rate. If you're unfamiliar with those terms, a single tax rate means that the same percentage of the tax rate is given to all properties regardless of whether they are residential, industrial, commercial, or having commercial and industrial at a different rate than residential, usually a higher rate with a split rate. The administration is recommending that we continue with a single rate as we've done for several years, as it really, with all the work we're doing to promote businesses in the community, we really don't want to have a deterrent put in place as of that. But just to give a broad overview of the different factors that have gone into the tax rate at $16.16 for the current fiscal year. The Massachusetts Department of Revenue, Division of Local Services, Bureau of Local Assessments certified land valuations in total for the city of Gardner at $1.9 billion. Of that $1.9 billion, $361,977,000 worth of land is tax exempt. That's whether it's city or state owned by any of the local churches, or just a nonprofit tax exempt agency. To put that into perspective, the city has a total of 6,617 parcels citywide. Of those parcels, 6,124 or 92.55% are residential properties. 352 or 5.32% are commercial properties, and 141 or 2.13% of our total number of parcels in the city are industrial properties. Where that relates in terms of revenue that we collect from these properties, about 83% of the taxes that we collect come from our residential properties, 7.7% come from commercial properties, 3.8% of our tax revenue comes from industrial properties, and 5.4% comes from personal property throughout the city. So that's the taxation that we receive from the different levels of both real estate and personal property taxes that fund the city's annual operating budget. Now, I understand that there was an anomaly with the tax bills that we're seeing this year due to the ways that Proposition 2.5 married with different other state laws, and when the new valuations started to kick in on July 1st of this fiscal year, but the tax rate could not be set until this evening, once formally formalized and then certified by the Department of Revenue within the next week or two after the vote is sent tonight. On July 25th, the administration sent out this letter to all residents and businesses in the city explaining this anomaly. But to put this into real numbers, now that we have what the new tax rate will be, in 2022, the tax rate was set at $18.59. With the current 1616 projection for the current fiscal year, that's a drop in the tax rate of $2.43 per $1,000. What this means is, with the previous tax rate, the average single-family tax bill in the city of Gardner was about $1,365 per quarter. Now, that was what was actually billed for the first 2 quarters for the average home in the city of Gardner at its current average home value of $286,640. With this new tax rate, the expected tax bill for the average home in the city of Gardner is $951, which represents an approximate reduction of $414 between what residents paid in quarters 1 and quarters 2 and what they will pay in quarters 3 and quarter 4. So we're already seeing that anomaly fix itself here through the procedures that we're seeing here tonight with, like I said, the reduction of just over $400 per quarter that our residents are going to immediately be seeing once those new real tax bills are put out in January for the third quarter. Valuations in the city in the past year went up about 21%. Now, as the letter that went out stated, if in a fraction the numerator goes up, the denominator goes down. That's exactly what we saw here. As the tax rate goes down, valuations go up. That's just how things mirror with Proposition 2.5, and we're capped at a certain amount that we can collect in taxation. So that's why while valuations went up, the tax rate is going down, but we should still be seeing that reduction in those immediate tax bills that will go out in January and again in April for the fourth quarter. The tax rate is set, or excuse me, valuations are set based off of a procedure called qualified sales from 2 years previous. So for the current fiscal year, those are sales done in 2021. There is a list of the qualified sales that counted on the city's website. These are all arm's length sales that have to be done and meet certain criteria here. This is not just any sale that happens in the market. So for instance, there was a real estate developer this past year in the city that recently purchased several properties citywide and then consolidated all of those properties into one single refinance loan from GFA, selling those properties from one LLC and a parent company to another LLC, and that same parent company do not count towards those qualified sales and are then not counted in setting this tax rate or valuations for the city, because those sales again have to be arm's length deal. It can't be from within the same parent company to parent company or things of that nature. So while that one real estate developer did refinance and resell to themselves about $4.7 million worth of property in the city, that actually is considered outside the valuation process for us here. And again, those qualified sales are all on the assessor's department page on the city's website. But this does decrease the tax rate to an amount lower, to the lowest amount that the city's seen since 2012. So just 10 years ago exactly. And it really should financially assist the residents with what we're seeing in terms of the inflation and cost trends throughout the city. But in terms of the single versus split tax rate, to provide evidence as to reasons why we're looking to continue to promote our economic development procedures that we're seeing here in Gardner. Since January 1st, 2021, 35 businesses have either newly opened their doors or expanded their services in the city of Gardner. We have an additional 8 expected to open within the first 2 quarters of 2023 calendar year. There are 13 buildings that have been purchased in the downtown alone and are currently under renovations, and to provide evidence of further work that's being done on them as well. Fiscal year to date, so in the past 6 months, the revenue currently collected in building permit fees in the city is about $750,000, triple what we collected year round in last fiscal year, so we're already seeing large increases in that. But the city's also committed $1.2 million from our facade improvement grants of up to $50,000 per landlord per building in improvement grants that have already been done citywide to fix these commercial buildings that are being done there. We currently have 36 vacant storefronts that are eligible for the vacant storefront revitalization program that the city recently became accepted into, where new businesses going into those storefronts that have been vacant for over 12 months can receive up to $20,000 in startup and fit-out cost from the Commonwealth. And the Mass Development's arm known as Mass Econ recently put the Garbos property on Mill Street on their list of top 100 locations in Massachusetts for development. That means they take over all of the, not all of the, but the majority of the marketing and sale advertisements of that property now, because they've deemed that one of the top 100 most readily available parcels statewide. So they'll actually now nationally and internationally market that property for us now. So with all of that growth and development expected within the next 2, 3, 5 years, we really want to make sure we continue to complement that, and that is why the administration is looking to continue with a single tax rate rather than increasing the burden on our commercial and industrial properties. And I'm happy to answer any questions you have, and our city assessor, Christine Kumar, is here as well. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Is there any questions, comments? Our city assessor, Christine Kumar, is here. I'd like to call her up.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Mayor. You did a great job of touching upon almost everything. I just wanted to take a moment in the packet, and again, the mayor did actually touch upon a lot of the statistics that are in there, but I wanted to mention, let's see, with the estimated residential tax rate of $6.16, $16.16, the average single-family tax bill calculates out to $4,632. Last year, for fiscal year 22, we have a ranking of single-family home values in northern Worcester County. Gardner falls out of 351 municipalities. It falls at number 263. As you might guess, Lunenburg, Ashburnham, Leominster, Westminster, Fitchburg are all ranked higher. And then Hubbardston, Phillipston, Templeton, Winchendon, and Athol are ranked lower. So it kind of falls right where you might think it would. In the packet, we also have the list of top 10 taxpayers. I won't bother to go through them. It's pretty self-explanatory. And then with the historic assessments and percentages of value, we talked about a single rate versus the split rate. You'll notice that the percentage of our commercial and industrial properties has steadily decreased since 2018. In 18, they were 21% of the value, and currently they're at 17%. So again, it's been a steady decrease since then. So we certainly don't want to deter any businesses coming into the city. Having said that, let's see. On November 1st, 2022, the Board of Assessors did vote unanimously to recommend to City Council a residential factor of 1, which results in a single tax rate estimated to be $16.16 for fiscal year 23, pending approval of the city's annual recap by the Massachusetts Department of Revenue.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Is there anyone here wishing to speak in favor of the topic of the public hearing? Is there anyone here wishing to speak in favor? Is there anyone here wishing to speak in favor? Is there anyone present to speak in opposition? Is there anyone present to speak in opposition? Is there anyone present to speak in opposition? The public hearing is now closed.